Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this episode of how the Public Works facility is progressing. I'm Rob, and I'm responsible for the newsletters that you get. And to my right is Jim. Jim Scheid is the Public Works Director at the city. And before we get started and talk to Jim, I did just want to take a moment to thank and acknowledge our communications manager, William Woody, who's actually in the background on the other side of this lens. And he's the one who's responsible for putting our videos together, for editing them, for producing them, and making them enjoyable for all of us. So thanks very much, Will, for all the work that you do. Now, back to why we're here today. Jim is going to talk to us about what's been happening at the Public Works facility since we were here last. And to get started, I wanted to ask him about what's happening here with the trench, and we're going to be undergrounding some of these poles and utility lines and all that. So, Jim, what's going on here? Explain to us what we can expect and what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. So this is kind of the first step of our utility piece of the road project. So right behind us is the future Rio Grande Avenue, and behind that kind of the roundabout location on Oak Grove. And this work we're doing right now is the kind of first steps of that project, and it's undergrounding the main utility. So the trench we're standing by is actually for our electrical, which is the overhead power you mentioned. These lines will be being removed, the poles are being removed, and all of that infrastructure going underground with ground-mounted transformers and sectionalizers. We've been working really closely with DMEA on this project and getting this one started. So trenching is started now. The actual lines will be going underground in the next few weeks. So definitely progressing very quickly. And again, this is kind of the first step of it. Power comes first. We'll run gas line as well in our utility corridor. And that'll happen in a few weeks right after electric is completed. So, big step here, kind of exciting to see. And as you can kind of imagine, all these overhead lines and poles, and this same section actually goes over the river a little ways. And all of that will be eliminated and then put underground with this project.
So, this is really exciting because I know that this is going to take away a lot of the visual pollution that happens with these giant poles. And I know that for a long time the city has been looking at options of undergrounding certain utility poles and the like. So very, very excited that you guys are doing that right now, and you took that into consideration at the onset.
Yeah, undergrounding power especially is something we try to do with a lot of projects. Notice that we're doing this a lot. It seems like we're frequently working with DMEA and undergrounding utilities. It's from an aesthetics point, but also a maintenance standpoint. And even just a future usability. So a lot of these poles are in the way. That's part of the issue, that even if they were to remain overhead, we'd have to relocate the poles, and that becomes kind of messy. So there's a lot of benefits to getting them underground.
Fantastic. So once again, then, what's the expected time frame on this part of the project?
So we're probably about a month still to go. This scope, we're actually installing again wires and some of the equipment in the next couple weeks. But we'll be backfilling this trench and then going on to gas, and so it'll look very similar. It'll be a similar trench for gas, and it'll look like this for I would say another month.
So you actually have to dig separate trenches for each one of the utility.
Yep. There's a required amount of separation between the different utilities, and instead of digging one very large trench, we're able to dig two smaller trenches, and just a little more efficient that way. And there are two different utilities coming to install their equipment, so it kind of works to sequence them back to back rather than at the same time.
That sounds really good. Well, thanks very much. Now we have some more questions for you, but to do that, I think we're going to relocate so we're in a better position to talk about them.
Sounds good.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hi everyone, we're back. We're standing here at the intersection of Oak Grove and Rio Grande, and we wanted to ask Jim about what's been happening with the trail, since a lot of people have noticed some changes. So Jim, could you take a moment and explain to us what's happened, what you guys have done since our last conversation?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're standing on the new section of Rec Trail. You see behind us, it extends quite a ways down and ties into what was the existing Connect Trail or Riverway Trail. And so this is the newest piece of it, and it's a 10-foot wide rec trail that follows the alignment of Rio Grande. So this is the permanent trail. We've just installed it as kind of this initial step of the project. We wanted to keep the trail connected and so people can continue to use it. And it was a scope of work that could have been completed first. So, but just a neat touch that a lot of times the sidewalk is what comes in last. In this case, it's one of the first steps that we completed, and it's just really nice to see it, and you can kind of really visualize what's going to be here in the future now because this trail alignment.
So this Connect Trail then, this is part of the actual 7-mile trail that goes from north to south in the city and all the way down to Colorado Outdoors.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, we're basically right in the middle between River Bottom and the rec center, and this is that critical link in between those two. Also, the T in the trail here also goes over the Burn Bridge towards Chipeta. So it's a really critical link in the trail system. And again, just nice to see it kind of rebuild. It was undersized before, so we're able to get it 10 foot wide and see what it's going to look like into the future.
And I hear people have been commenting on it already, right? They're actually enjoying it already.
Yeah, people are using it now. There's a couple of pieces that are missing out of it, but for the most part, people are using it now. And the feedback we've gotten is great just to have a new trail. It's wider than the previous one. So yeah, a lot of positive feedback.
Terrific. And behind us, at the intersection in the future, that's where the roundabout's going to go. But that's a separate project, and we'll get back to that and talk about that separately.
Yep, exactly.
When the time is right.
Yep. Yeah, it goes along with the Public Works facility, but it's a separate project, and that'll be happening in 2026.
Fantastic. Thanks very much. Okay, so there's your update for the trail gang, and we're going to come right back to you and talk about some other aspects of what's been happening here at the new Public Works facility for the city of Montrose. So behind us is a pit that is no longer a pit. You might remember that last time we were standing actually inside the pit, and it was and we were a ways down. So as we can see now, it doesn't quite look like that. It looks pretty nice. And so Jim, please tell us what's going on here and what's happened since the last time we talked.
Yeah, this is basically the finished state of our fill project, we've been calling it, and that is to prepare the site for the construction project. Had to fill it in quite a bit, and in this area behind us is the structural fill that's under the building footprint, and it is essentially completed as far as it is up to grade, which is bottom of footer for the construction project. So finished floor is actually about 4 feet higher than this, but this project prepared the site to be now ready for foundation construction.
Terrific. So what we're looking at here then is this is where the future building or buildings will be constructed.
Correct. Yeah, 3 of the buildings will be right here on this pad. Our largest buildings, our fleet shop, our admin building, all of our heated storage buildings are on this location, on this one pad. So yeah, definitely the biggest part of the site. There's smaller storage buildings around, but this is the biggest of the structures.
Great. And what kind of changes can we expect to see here over the next 30, 60, 90 days?
Initially, in the next 30 days, utility work. So a lot of similar to the trench we saw on the roadway will be on site. We're doing our storm, water, and other site utilities. Then we'll move into foundations. So I would say in the next 60 days, we'll see concrete work happening in foundations. And the next 90 to even 120 days, we'll see in vertical construction in CMU block and steel.
Fantastic. So, we're just going to stay on the same topic, but switch a little bit. One of our readers had sent in a request to ask how we're handling green waste and what we can learn about that.
Yeah, so that's one exciting thing about this new facility is we have designed into the facility to be able to offer that service again, of accepting green waste from city residents for processing. Something we've done in the past, but it was quite problematic for our operation and our old site. It just really wasn't the right setup for it. Now we're designing for it, to where the idea would be, residents can bring in their green waste. We would collect it here and then have it transported to a compost facility. and just done in a much more efficient way on our side, so that it's something we can offer again.
Great. And that's yet another reason why we can't call this the Public Works shop, because of all of these great things that you're doing now that you couldn't do necessarily at the current location.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. Definitely a facility that's designed for all these multiple different aspects of what we do, and not centered around a maintenance shop.
Great. And as we wrap up here, I just wanted to ask Jim about one question also that I know is on the minds of many, and that has to do with how we're doing in terms of progress when it comes to schedule, the actual work, and how we're handling the budget. So Jim, could you bring us up to date on scheduling and budget?
Yeah, schedule. We're actually quite a ways ahead of schedule on this contract, which is really good. It's kind of giving us a jump start into other scopes of work. Even utility work being an example, we're able to start that earlier than we thought, because we are quite a ways ahead of schedule on this site fill project. And so we're doing really well on schedule. I would say definitely one of our better projects when it comes to schedule. Budget, we're right on budget. We always come in under budget and have the goals of being as far as we can under budget. We are under budget on this project so far, and progressing well. I'd say the projections we're making look very positive.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add today before we wrap up this episode?
No, looking forward to the next one. I think next time we do a video like this, likely it's going to look a lot different again. So looking forward to it already.
Yeah, and I know I am, and hopefully you are too. Thank you again for tuning in today to get caught up on what's happening with this amazing facility that's about to be constructed. So please stay tuned for the next episode, and in the meantime, have a wonderful day, and make sure you read your newsletter. This is Rob signing out.